This video has body horror, specifically regarding teeth. You have been warned. Hello everybody, my name is Firo, and today is another episode of Draw With Me, the series where I'm going to pull a prompt and invite you to draw said prompt with me. In today's episode, my medium of choice is going to be digital, and the program I'm using is Clip Studio Paint. Also, the tablet I'm using is a Wacom Mobile Studio Pro. Because today's art was a digital painting, I don't have a timer for you, so the art took about 4 hours to complete in total. Without further ado, grab your pencils, pens, paper, or whatever it is you like to draw with, and let's get on with this video. We've got a new element today for picking prompts, and it's inside this little Rudy box. I thought the box was really cute, so I put a bunch of verbs and adjectives inside. These words are going to give a little bit more thematic direction to the nouns that we're going to pick from the 500 Drawing Prompts book. Let's get a drum roll, shall we? So the two prompts I picked were Smile and Happy Monster, and since those were kind of the same thing, I went through the box until I pulled an adjective, and that word just so happened to be milky, which came completely out of left field, but I welcome it. So now we have Happy Monster, Smile, and Milky. I gave myself 30 minutes on the timer for my initial sketch, which goes straight into the 500 Drawing Prompts book, but I ended up only needing 15 minutes of that. The Pinterest board I have here is the same one I use in every episode, and if you want to look at it, it's linked below. For the prompt, Smile and Happy Monster, I really wanted to render some gnarly teeth, so that's why I ended up going with a digital illustration this time. I do kind of think I failed this prompt slightly, not because I didn't make like the most amazing piece of art at the end of this. I'm honestly so proud of how it turned out, but it kind of doesn't go with the Happy Monster thing. I mean, it does, but it also doesn't. You'll see what I mean by the end of it. The obvious choice here was to draw a really happy Cookie Monster, but obviously I had to go a bit darker than that. At this point in the process, I really didn't know what I was gonna do, so I just started drawing some of the images that I had put on my Pinterest board. Very quickly, I realized I wanted to do something with that kid on the milk bottle. He just looked so happy drinking his milk, so I wanted to do something related to that, and then I was also really inspired by the way that toddlers' teeth grow in. I haven't taken my anatomy class yet, so I don't know 100%, but I believe that when we are born with our adult teeth. They're just way up in our face. So when you look at a toddler's skull, all of their adult teeth are at the top and their baby teeth are underneath. So I wanted to draw this very innocent looking child drinking his milk with his adult teeth and his baby teeth both showing. These images are really interesting for me to look at now because when I was younger, my two incisors didn't want to grow in, and so I had my baby teeth till I was about 15, and then I had to get a dental surgery where they pulled out my baby teeth and put a chain onto the adult tooth that was way up near my nose and pull it all the way down. Then after that, I had braces for about 5 years, and now my jaw hurts every day, all the time. So I don't know if it was a good thing. They said that if I didn't do that, I would have just had a gap tooth, and honestly, gap teeth are kind of cute, so maybe that would have been better. The fun part of that whole procedure was that I was awake for the entire thing, and my mom doesn't believe me though. My mom doesn't believe much of what I say, but I know for a fact that I was very much awake for it, and it was not fun at all. Anyways, back to the drawing. The real question here was, do I draw a milk monster who is happy, or do I draw a happy monster because it likes milk? Obviously, I went with the latter, but I really was tempted to draw a cute cowgirl, kind of like Lavender Town's VR avatar. I do think the one thing I missed with this was that he doesn't look monstrous enough. Like, he really just looks like me at 15 when I had my baby teeth still intact. But maybe the monstrosity has to do with why this kid is so happy and why does he have so many teeth. Definitely didn't think this one was going to get super deep, but I did develop quite a fun backstory for this one. I wanted to incorporate the missing children's ads that used to be on the back of milk cartons somewhere in this piece. So then I thought, well, the kid I'm drawing who likes milk and has a bunch of teeth is going to be the one missing on the back of the milk carton. But I couldn't figure out a way for that to work in a story, so I decided that this kid with all the teeth that loves milk is going to be the spokesperson for a milk company, and I'm going to put him on an advertisement just like he is on the milk bottle. So at that point, I decided that my illustration was going to be some sort of vintage advertisement for milk. But what really put the whole story together was the aspect ratio of the image that I was drawing, because I wanted to put it in like 1080p for YouTube's sake, but then that meant I had a lot of space on the side to do something with. So then I thought, well, what we're looking at is some kind of wall that has a bunch of different posters on it. So then after duplicating this milk ad and pasting it a whole bunch as if it was like covering a big wall, I realized I could put something underneath the milk ad, like the ad was obscuring something else. So I feel like I'm not making any sense here, so I'm just gonna tell the story straight. So in this universe, these kids are supposed to have a bunch of layers of teeth. So this kid right here, he's a really healthy looking kid because he loves drinking his milk because milk's got calcium in it, right? And calcium helps your bones and your teeth are bones. So that should work out, right? Wrong, because capitalism strikes again. And kids are mysteriously losing their teeth. So the culprit seems to be something milk related, like additive milk. So cereal, hot chocolate, mac and cheese, things you put milk into. However, the investigation is ongoing, and so no one really knows who's the true culprit for this loss of teeth in young children. So this cheeky little company has decided to brand itself as being high in calcium and really good for your children's teeth. But I think we both know that this company is actually the one responsible for all of the missing teeth. Is this child the true culprit? Is he the one stealing everyone's teeth? I don't know. That's for you to find out. He's a freaky little bugger. I think we got a real bestseller here. Someone give me a movie deal. This is gonna blow some minds. No one's ready for the teeth heist that this child's about to do. I feel like there's a tooth fairy joke in here, but I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Like a horror tooth fairy movie, except for I'd hate that. I feel like there'd be some pulling of teeth in that, and yeah, I don't want to. I want anything to do with a horror movie where people are getting their teeth pulled out. That's a big thing. That's a big no-no for me when it comes to body horror in movies. I say as I'm drawing the gnarliest mouth on a child ever to exist. I gotta say, I am extremely proud of the way this freaky little kid turned out. Like, the tooth render is not as perfect as I was hoping to, mostly just because of the shape of the teeth. I feel like it's not obvious enough that the bottom teeth are baby teeth and the top teeth are adult teeth. However, I was trying really hard to keep the render super simple, and that actually worked so well in my favor. I forgot to mention this before, but I was trying to mimic that painterly style that old advertisements used to have. Obviously, back then, cameras were available, but photos didn't print well enough to be used in advertisements yet, so people got really, really good at this style, which was realistic, but also still slightly cartoony. I'm a huge fan of Norman Rockwell, so one day I should actually do a real study of his paintings because that would be so beneficial to me. I think one of my biggest weaknesses when it comes to digital painting is that there's a little bit of dissonance between certain features. Like the skin kind of feels two-dimensional, making the eyes feel like they're on a different layer, making the mouth kind of feel like it's on a different layer, and then the shirt seems a little bit separate. I know that that's definitely like a color and lighting issue. I have not done enough studies to really hone that technique down. But it's funny that it looks like they're on different layers because this whole kid is on one layer. I only ever paint on one layer. I use like max 10 layers at a time in an illustration. I sometimes get comments on Instagram when I post about my process for my comics, like because all of my comics are inked traditionally, and people are always like, how can you do that without the undo button, without layers and things like that? And I'm like, well, I guess I rarely ever use the undo button and layers anyways in digital painting, so that helps. My question to y'all is, how do you paint with like 400 layers? Like, how are you keeping track of anything? I do not get that. I could not do that. That would make me so anxious. Sometimes when I'm watching a process video to like see what other people's techniques are for doing digital paintings, the moment they put on like more than 5 layers, I'm like, nope. I'm out. I can't draw like this. There's no way. This might actually be a bit blasphemous, but when I did my first couple of comics that were all completely digital, I inked the entire thing, including the panels, on one layer. Did that hurt me? Yes, absolutely. However, I love digital painting, especially on one layer. It's just so satisfying not having to think about anything else. Digital painting is such a dangerous task because I'll spend like 10 hours on a single piece of art and it will only feel like 10 minutes. And with that, we've finished off this beautiful drawing of a very toothful child. I'm really glad that I did pick that last adjective because I know that this piece would have turned out way different had I not gotten the milky aspect of this whole piece. I'm giving y'all a close-up on these beautiful gnashers because they're just so gorgeous. I am so proud of them. If anything went wrong in this piece, I don't care because like I've never rendered teeth so beautifully than in this moment. My only advice I can give to you is simplicity. Like that's really what made this work for me. Was for everything else I used the brush tool, but for the teeth I used more like a pen tool, and yeah, that's what made it look so good. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did decide to participate in today's challenge, you can send me your artwork by emailing me. My email is on my website on the contacts page, or you can use the hashtag DRAWITHFIRO with only one W on Instagram and I'll find it there. If you do that, I'll put it at the end of the next video and then we all get to see what we're drawing together. Again, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you later, cowboy.